Assalamu alaikum, greetings and peace. I'm making this video today for Allah's sake, the creator of all that exists, my maker, sustainer, guider, and provider. May we all seek rewards from Allah from this video. And in this video is a very personal video. It's about how I came into Islam and how I was creating shirk. Shirk is the greatest major sin that you can perform is shirk, which in translation means to associate partners with God. So Allah says in the Quran quite clearly that the major sin that you can do is to associate partners with Him. That He is the Almighty, that He is the All-Powerful. He is our maker, sustainer, and guider and provider. The All-Knower, the All-Seer, the All-Hearer. He knows the seen and unseen. To go into more detail about that's for another video, but in this video, like I said, it's a personal video, and it's how I came into Islam and how the following up to me coming to Islam is a preparation for the Dajjal. The Dajjal in translation is the Antichrist. And just to go a little bit, before I get into that, I'm just going to go into a little bit of a detail about the Dajjal. And in authentic hadiths from the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he narrates, it is narrated that he said that the Dajjal is on the earth when he was at least 1400 years ago, when Prophet Muhammad was walking on the earth, that he was alive and he's chained up on some remote island somewhere, waiting to be released by Allah, the creator of all that exists, to wreak havoc on the earth. And the release of the Dajjal is one of the 10 major signs of the end days, the Day of Judgment. And the Day of Judgment is for a whole new video as well. But just to keep things simple and steadfast. Just going a little bit detail about the Dajjal. The Dajjal will have all sorts of supernatural powers. He will have the powers to raise the dead, to raise up crops, to make crops die. He'll be very quick. He'll be a very large man, looking man. He'll be overweight. He'll have one good eye, I should say. And he will be a major test for mankind. That he will be claiming divinity, that he is God. The people who believe in him, he will go from town to town, and the people who believe in him, he will raise their crops, make their crops grow. The people who disbelieve him, he will make their crops die. He will have the ability to raise the dead, and all sorts of other supernatural powers that will mesmerize the masses into believing that he is divine, and creating major shirk, and getting other people to believe in doing shirk themselves. So I just want to tie this all up, and the only one who will destroy the Dajjal in the end times will be when Jesus is returned, and he will be the only one to destroy the Dajjal. And that is the time of the Mahdi. The Mahdi will be the true Khalifa of the Muslims that will be recognized by the scholars in Mecca, that they'll recognize that he's the Mahdi, and then that will start the ball rolling for the end times. And the Dajjal will be shortly released. The Antichrist will be shortly released after the Mahdi wins many battles, and that is for another video. To tie this all back together, so the Dajjal will be a major test for all people to create major shirk. So before I became Muslim, I became Muslim in the spring of 2014, a little less than a year ago. And prior to that, I was following an individual who was claiming that he was Jesus, that he was claiming divinity, that he was a reincarnation of Jesus, and he was the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords and all this nonsense. And I was buying into. Now, in the back of my mind, I was Catholic for the first 34 years of my life before I became Muslim. And the Jesus thing, claiming the thing about Jesus being divine, I didn't really buy into it so much, but it was always in the back of my mind. But this particular individual was claiming that he was Jesus, reincarnation of Jesus, and he was putting all these proofs, and he's making video after video after video. And I don't want to mention his name out of respect, um, but he was performing major shirk, and I was buying into it, and I was performing shirk as well, associating partners with the Creator. And it was him that he was mentioning Prophet Muhammad, that and stealing the thunder of Prophet Muhammad, saying that he was the one mentioned in the Bible, that the one to return in the end times, um, uh, which was actually Muhammad, is actually, he's mentioned in the Torah as well, along with the Bible, that Muhammad was prophesied by Jesus and many of the other prophets that were before him. So it was actually this individual who was claiming that he was Jesus that actually introduced me to Prophet Muhammad, and I thank Allah for guiding me to Islam. And he was the one who introduced me to Prophet Muhammad. So I wanted to do more research into this individual, as I am a truth seeker. I always look for the truth, and once I came across the Quran and Prophet Muhammad's teachings, and it just all hit home with me, and it just resonated with it, and I just knew in my heart that it was the truth. And once I started reading the Quran, I knew that no man could possibly write this, that this is divine revelation from the one and only Creator that we have. And I told him straight up that I don't believe in him any longer, and I became a Muslim. So that situation that I was in is the exact same situation that the Dajjal will run rampant onto this earth. He will try to convince as many people that he is divine, and he will have all these supernatural powers that Allah grants him this power. The only reason he has this power is because Allah grants him as a test for us. This world could be made very easy for us, but it's a form of struggle for us, because it's a training ground for us, a training for our souls, to develop our souls, to test us, to see, how much iman we have, how much we really believe in Allah, and how close we want to be to Allah, and of that nature. And it'll be a major test for the people of the time of the Dajjal when he'll be released. He'll be released for approximately a little over than a year, and it'll be a major, 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 major test for all the human beings on that will be alive on Earth at that time. And it's going to be pretty tough when you see somebody who can raise the dead, who can destroy your crops or raise your crops in seconds, having all these supernatural powers, that people will be mesmerized. People will be like, wow, this guy must be divine, and so forth. So it'll be a very, very big test for the believers, and it'll be a very big test for the non-believers, and hopefully they will learn through that and become believers in the one and only Allah. So I see that from Allah, is that He's been prepared me for the Dajjal, that I feel I'm somewhat prepared because I went through those experiences of believing in somebody who is divine, who is claiming all these things, showing proofs of all sorts of different things, in all different ways. That it was a really big test for me. And once I seen the truth, when I tasted the truth from the Quran and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, I knew that all that was a facade, that was all bogus. And I became Muslim shortly after. So the person who was creating major shirk, a major disbeliever, at the time, maybe he's a believer now, I don't know, but at the time he was a major disbeliever, and that he was the one who introduced me to Prophet Muhammad, and I thank Allah for guiding me to Islam. And I hope this video will help others prepare for the Dajjal, give them stronger iman, bring them closer to Allah, and receive the rewards of this video, and bring bring closer to Allah and His beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him.